name is Chidima Oranwa. Of course, today we are kickstarting the show by bringing away the stories that are trending on our website. But we will start with our website and then we'll go to other national dailies to bring your way the stories that we have for you today. And we have reviewers already seated in our studio this morning. But we take a short break now. When we come back, you meet our reviewers and we go straight into discussion. I will also want to remind you that you can be part of the discussion ongoing in the studio this morning, only if you will dial the number that will be displayed in front of your TV set. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back to the show. And our reviewers are Apostle John Paul Iloduba. He is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Apostle. Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's always my pleasure to be here.
All right, we also have Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs, a public affairs analyst. Barrister, good morning.
Good morning, President. Viewers are welcome.
And Ifeanyi Chukwu Ezafunamba, the solicitor. He's also a public affairs analyst. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right. As you can see, we have a full house this morning. So we are starting with the stories that are trending on our website, that is ABS website. The first one, Anambra State Women and Social Welfare Ministry empowers over 70 women with skills and grants. Anambra State government to embark on Old People Home Scheme. Anambra Works Commissioner asks the contractors to accelerate pace of work on Nnewi Road projects. Anambra State government to distribute over 1 million all palm coconut seedlings to households. These are the stories we have on our website this morning. Apostle, let's start with you.
Okay. Let me comment on Anambra State Women and Social Welfare Ministry. Powers over 70 women with skills and grants. This is what government should be all about. Empowering the people, helping the poor. Because in a country or in a state or in a society where the rich continues to get richer, things will never be gotten right at all. But in a society where the government look at the indigent people, look at the poor people, empower them with skills, grant to help them, come above poverty line. Yeah? So it's a welcome development. The government of Chukwuma Soludo, I must tell you, I'm not a fan of government. But since this man came to power, I think I'm now in love with Anambra State government. You see a lot of work going on. The other day it was youth skill acquisition and other stuff, where he empowered the youth.
One youth, two skill.
One youth, two skill.
Exactly.
I have a cousin sister that got 400,000 naira from that empowerment. So it's a welcome development. So you keep hearing this now. Minister of Women Affairs is also empowering 17 women. This will help a lot of our mothers, our women, to take care of their families and live a better life. This empowerment will also reduce the level of criminality we have in the society. Because when a mother or a woman, is well equipped to take care of her family, you see, that child or the children of that woman will not go astray. But when a woman doesn't have anything to do, you don't have business, you don't have work, nothing, no skill, you will find out that bringing up children in the right way will be very difficult. So it's a welcome development.
All right, thank you so much for that submission. Barrister Ifechukwu, let's look at Anambra government about to distribute over 1 million all palm and coconut seedlings to households. Yeah, this is like the second batch because it has been done before and they are about to do another batch.
It's a very good program. It will even improve the economy of the state. Along the coconut is a very big cash crop. Likewise, palm produce. So looking toward that direction, and when the weather of Anambra State support growth of these two cash crops. So the state government embarking on such project is trying to improve the life of the citizens and even improve the economy of the state. Because I don't know, by so doing now, if this 101 million citizens, if it's planted and successfully managed, before you know, you have coconut processing plants. Coconut oil is very costly in the market. Before you know it, Anambra will start to export coconut oil and the rest of them. And the people that got this empowerment will start to pay their taxes to improve the economy of the state. It's a way to develop the economy. Because when you empower people and they have something doing, they become self-employed, become real entrepreneurs. They will contribute to the growth of the economy.
All right, thank you. Ifeanyi Chukwu, we still have like two headlines there. We talk about Anambra State government embarking on Old People's Home scheme, and then we also have a commissioner asking contractors to accelerate work at Ononewi Road project.
Okay, I would want to share more light on the Anambra State government to embark on Old People's Home scheme.
Okay.
On that aspect, it's very, very, by the virtue of the first point,
Okay.
which my colleague here has already answered.
The empowerment of women.
The empowerment of women. I think it's also very, very vital and also important that when we are thinking about the youth, we also think about the old people in our communities. You get, these are people who change the mindset of young youth, in the societies. You get, if there's something that they do say, train up a child in the way he should go, so that when he is old, he will not go astray. So Anambra State government embarking on this project is a very, very nice one. Okay. Know what is the problem of the aged people in the community, give them what they need, solve their problems, help them continue to live healthy, help them continue to live in a wise way. You understand? So while we're also trying to empower the youth, while we're also trying to empower the women, while we're also trying to empower every other person, we should also try as much as possible to think about the old people around us. And I think it is a welcome idea or it's thoughtful of the Anambra State government to do such a thing.
Because definitely we must all
be old. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. So quickly, let's go over to the papers we have under review this morning. Let's start with the Punch newspaper. The banner headline in the front page of Punch says, the Tinubu presents budget Wednesday, FEC okays the $1 billion loan. And then we have riders under it. The federal government target 18 trillion naira revenue, raises exchange rate benchmark from 700 naira per dollar to 750 per dollar. Speaker, opposition lawmakers assure Nigeria of proper budget screening to grill ministers. And then President swears in 8 permanent secretaries, presides over FEC meeting. Ondo lawmakers meet today, may declare Ayet Datiwa acting governor. Worker died, 2 injured at Lagos construction site. Swan gets staff over office December 16, court halt removal. And up there we can still see some stories. This is coming from the MBA. Attacks on judges, public sentiment can't displace law. This is a statement from the CJN. I'm best to succeed, Obaseki, Shaibu declares. Tinubu names Akinye Lure, NMPC chair, reappoints Kiari as CEO. All right, these are the stories we have trending in the front page of the Punch newspaper. Yeah, Apostle.
I would love to comment on what CJN
said.
But because we have a very senior learned.
Okay, you just want to leave that part for him.
Leave that for
okay,
so
all right, go ahead.
Tinubu present budget. Federal Executive Council okays $1 billion loan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's not new to us. You know, APC government is known for borrowing. That's what
Exactly.
they're going for. You know, I'm not surprised at all. And I can never be surprised anytime going further. But I want to say that there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with borrowing.
Borrowing, exactly.
Just like our leader,
Yeah.
Peter will always say, there's nothing wrong with borrowing. But
Well, why do you borrow?
what are you going to do with the money
Exactly.
you have borrowed? Okay, are you borrowing to
spend.
for consumption,
Yeah.
or you are borrowing to invest? Okay,
Exactly.
so and the much I have, followed the APC government, I know them to be people that borrow money to consume. Yes, when they borrow this money, they will invest it in, in buying cars for the legislators and the ministers and appointees of the government. And this will not go well for Nigeria. Nigerian people are suffering. Okay, there is poor road infrastructure everywhere. Nothing is working in this country. Nothing is working. Economy is in shambles. Okay, and you are borrowing money. And I can bet you, that this government, this APC government, this Tinubu-led administration, we borrow money to consume. You know what I'm saying? This government is the first time. The government of Tinubu is the only government in the history of this country that has appointed more than required ministers in this country. He has over 40-something ministers. Okay, what are all these ministers doing? The answer is nothing. They are doing nothing. They are there just to eat money. Okay, buy cars, send their children to UK and US. While me and you, we are in this country. Okay, and nothing is working. If for you to move from Anambra now to Abuja by road, my dear, you have to carry your heart at hand because you don't know what can happen next. Nothing is working in this country. Insecurity everywhere. So the government of APC or the government of Tinubu must come out open to tell Nigerians where they are going to invest this money before we can believe them. If you are borrowing $1 billion, it is okay. We accept it, no problem. Okay, but you must tell us whether this money is going to go into environment of the youth or is going to go into road infrastructure. Where exactly is this money going into, so that we can have confidence in your government? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that submission. And I bet if you really want to know much about that story, the banner headline, you can go on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. We don't have the liberty to read the whole story here, but that's just the headline. But if you want to know more about the presentation of the budget and the FEC okaying, $1 billion, you can go to page 21 of the Punch newspaper. And quickly, okay. Let's come to your territory, Barrister Dan Jacobs, talking about the attacks on judges.
Well, the issue the CJN raised, that we cannot replace law with emotion and sentiment. But indeed, in the issue of law, emotion and sentiment are allowed to play any role. But telling us that we can't replace emotion and sentiment because of attack on judges, we should look at their antecedents so far. What has happened? When you say that justice has been done, it must be seen to have been done, manifestly done. Even the common man in the street must see that justice has been done. You cannot just tell me that justice is just for the judges, CJN, without listening to the public. You must do justice that everybody will see that is manifestly done. Believe that indeed this is what actually happened, that the justice have actually presented to the public. But the situation we find ourselves in political issues, like the decision of judges in the political matter, is very, very worrisome, because we don't allow the Nigerian citizens to elect their leaders now. It's the judges now that decide who rules. And we know what happened. And when you look at, like in the issue of Kano State now, Kano is boiling because of judicial activism. Manasseh State is boiling because of judicial activism. But when you look at the elections and what happened during the election in those states, even other states, that like in Plateau State, many decisions Court of Appeal have taken is in variance with the decision of Supreme Court. And why can't people complain? They have to look at the issue of decision of judges very well. They have to take care of that issue to avoid anarchy. Nigeria is driven into anarchy, but they don't know. They should take care of justice on electoral issues. When you look at land decisions and other decisions, they try to maintain standard. But when they turn into election matters, they overrule, they say, deviate from existing decisions, which is very wrong.
Because they have, they will do that because they have their own interest. Okay? You know, the executive over the time has pocketed judiciary.
Exactly.
Believe it or
Exactly.
not. Okay? Just like he said now, when it comes to other issues, land matters, other matters, you see the justices, you know, doing justice to the, you know, even an average man on the street there, we know that justice has been done to this. But when it comes to the issue of our elections,
Yeah, government-related issues.
you will see them doing anyhow. You will see judicial rascality. You will see court of appeal giving judgment without looking at what it has given previously over the years. Okay, just like I was listening to, there was one thing article I was reading online, and judiciary was saying that, I mean, Supreme Court was saying that they are not bound. There is not a must that you expect them to give judgment based on what they have given before. That they can say, this is 2023 now, that you need WAEC to contest the election. That is their judgment. Going forward, they can decide that you don't need the WAEC again to contest the election. They are not bound to stay, you know, on their own, the ambit of their own ruling previously. So where are we driving to? Where is this country heading to? If we must get this right in this country, we must get the judiciary, because judiciary is the last hope of common man. Okay.
I wanted to ask Barrister, is that still the case? The court, is this still the last hope of the common man? Because
Well,
from what we
no
are
matter
seeing
what-
now,
no
we are
matter-
talking
no
about,
matter- no matter
you
what's
know,
happened.
that we don't need to talk about what they are doing.
No matter what happened, court is still the last hope. Because I still believe that sometime, someday, something drastic that will bring a
Chidinma,
positive
you shouldn't
change
have asked Barrister that question.
will
You should have
come.
asked me.
And,
No, why I'm asking
let-
him, because
let-
I understood.
You're not a common man.
Wait,
Let me tell you.
I
That is
understand.
not a common man.
That-
A common man.
Let me
He's
tell
not
you.
even in support of what is
Let
happening.
me tell you,
And I'm glad that it's coming from me.
like,
It's not surprising what is
that
happening.
is financially buoyant.
like issue of appointment of judges
Yes.
should be looked into. That is where the problem lies. You must appoint people that are qualified, courageous, people that will not look at individual interests, but look at public interest.
Well, it seems there is
Look,
something wrong somewhere, because these are people, these are lawyers that you know that before they were made judges, they were perfect in their profession, exceptional. But once they get there, it seems that something,
That is
something
what
overtakes
they normally
them.
drink.
No,
And then
there's
I know that
there's-
judiciary is
no,
supposed to
there's
be,
no water.
supposed to be
And I will tell you
independent.
No, there's
Yeah.
no water they drink.
Wait,
That is-
So
Time, I will
what
tell
actually
you.
is the problem?
From the standard of appointment have been lowered so much. Because first and foremost, you must have knowledge of law. You must be qualified in terms of regulation requirement. But somebody that will be on the bench must have a unique character. You must be a courageous person. You must be selfless. But most of the time, you discover that these judges appoint their children to replace them. Okay, when the father did not perform well, do you expect the son to do wonders?
Now becomes
To help Barrister, just like Mary
Okay.
her daughter is a judge, the son-in-law is a judge.
Of course.
This current CJM, he has appointed his own son again as a judge. Where are we going to? Nigeria is a family business.
So when you fail to appoint
Tinubu is
according to
governor,
the
the wife is
interest,
senator.
according to the
Okay,
interest of the public,
we still have other,
President
have other headlines.
The son, the MP.
Let me come to you, Ifeanyi. Looking at still the rider under the big story there, federal government targeting 18 trillion naira revenue.
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly what I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
Because I really do not understand the revenue these people are trying to generate when they are still looking at borrowing. So what kind of revenue are they wanting to generate? And they are also looking at borrowing. Lifting the benchmark from 700 to 750. And you know very well, before, if you say you are lifting it from 700, before, once we here, over here in the southeast, says, okay, it's 700 over there, here it will be 800. And things will continue to get costly.
Or even more.
Or even more. Things will continue to get costly during this Yuletide period. People who are coming back to the East to celebrate their Christmas with their family will not be able to get things from the market, even for their children, or even for persons around. Why? Because of this same issue. So I do not understand why federal government is talking about generating revenue, and they are also still looking at borrowing. Let them just face one. If you want to borrow, just like my colleague has said here, borrow and invest. Do not borrow and consume. Borrow and invest. When you invest it, you generate revenue. I'm not looking for how to get money indirectly from the poor masses, because that is the channel here which is going to.
If I don't know if you notice something. You know, before now, you're supposed to have started hearing the jingle bell, jingle bell.
Of course, it's like the bell has been stolen.
The bell is pointing.
It has been stolen.
Well, I think about the revenue. About the revenue,
it's nobody's coming back.
It's the revenue, generation of revenue. I think it has a connection with the budget that was presented by the president. So it's not something that is starting immediately now. I think it's for 2024, next year. You understand? It's diminution. So it's not about the Utah. You can still buy whatever you want to buy for your loved
But
ones.
things are still high.
I understand. I just want to clear that.
Things still-
That we can still buy that.
Okay,
quickly.
help me.
Quickly.
You see,
I know.
budget
I understand.
The budget estimation
Yes.
is just the government is looking at what they believe they will generate in the year.
Next year.
And from their analysis so far, they believe they can generate that amount.
The one they generated, what did they
But
do?
the issue is that the amount that have been borrowed before, you have to take care of it. But there are some percentage that we set aside.
that's still leftovers. Of course.
And,
Of course.
The issue, where I'm worried about our government spending or borrowing is that they don't use it in projects that will return the money.
Thank you.
That will return that.
And only investments can
Because if
return the
you
money, which
invest
is
in
revenue.
capital projects,
Thank you.
not consumption projects, not to borrow to pay salary, borrow to buy cars, borrow
To furnish offices.
they are,
and houses.
they are consuming the future of the children.
Exactly.
But now we are talking about foreign investors. The president is busy traveling all over the world. But many companies, multinational companies, are folding and leaving Nigeria,
Going together.
going out of this country.
That we were better than.
But they are not sit down to look at the environment. Because like now, if you take your child to a departmental store, the child will first and foremost run to children-friendly department.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
An investor, when they have a friendly environment to invest, they will beg you to allow them to come and invest. The government should look at doing something that will better the investment environment in this country, that will attract foreign investors, that make them to rush to Nigeria to invest, because you invest where you will gain, you have returns.
Returns at the end of the day. Okay. Quickly, let's go over to the next paper. We are going to take Vanguard, Daily Independent, and This Day newspaper together. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. The big story there is still talking about the justices fighting back. We can't replace law with emotions. This is coming from the CJN. We've talked about that. Banks ready for recapitalization, CIBN. Judicial decision can affect FDI, CBN governor. Federal government injects up 2024 budget to 27.5 trillion naira. Tinubu reappoints Mele Kyari, Group CEO of NMPC. Appeal court judgment, protest rocks part of Kano. An appeal court sacks Kaduna speaker. Orders rerun in 5 polling units. ASU, Konua warned government against new varsities, say existing ones malnourished. FEC vote 3.23 billion naira for explosives, narcotics, detention scanners in 5 airports. And then we can see the picture there, France, Nigeria Council meet in Lagos. Let's quickly go over to the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Revealed how dispatch error landed Abuja-bound flight in Asaba. NCAA suspends wet-leased aircraft in United Nigeria. Aviation regulators action in order, says expert. And then we have a lot of stories in the front page of the Daily Independent. The federal government raises 2024 budget to 27.5 trillion naira, present it to us tomorrow. Reviews exchange rate to 7.50 per dollar, pegs oil benchmark at $77. Looks to get budget support loan of $1 billion from African Development Bank to increase tax revenue to GDP ratio to 18%. Edo Deputy Governor declares Guba beat, says no one can stop him. Citizens' confidence in judiciary, best way to measure success of judicial institutions. Okay, CJN. Protest rocks Kano over appeal court judgment on Guba election. Government, okay, to install 3.2 billion naira explosive narcotic detection devices in 5 airports. North Central Region bemoans Tinubu's treatment of zone. Basic school enrollment in Nigeria hit 45 million. This is coming from UBEC. And still on the Israel and Hamas war, truce in Gaza extended 2 days under deal. And then this day newspaper, FERC approves, okay, we've seen that. Ariwola, unnecessary cases of a stretching judiciary, we need alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Zenith Bank, French government signed MOU to establish subsidiary in France. And the case, we still have Kiari returning as NNPC CEO. These are the stories we have on the 3 papers this morning, the Vanguard, Daily Independent, and This Day newspaper. Okay, Apostle.
Yeah, let me continue to talk on what is happening in Kano. Protest everywhere because of what has happened in Kano.
Exactly.
Judgment of the Court of Appeal.
Exactly.
You know, that is what I call judicial rascality. You know, there was judgment, you know, read out by the learned justices. And at the end of the day, the certified true copy of that judgment was saying a different thing altogether. Okay? And then people, you know, came out to say, we don't understand what is happening. And of course, you should also know that these people who are protesting, they have their own interest as well.
Of course.
You know, the governor has his own people, the other people, the other man, the man of APC has his own people too. Okay? But the point is this. It's not about the protesters. Because at the end of the day, Supreme Court must say something. And whatever Supreme Court says, stands. But the point is, what is the judiciary as a body doing to make sure that we end this judicial rascality? When you give judgment, you just like Barrister said earlier, when you say you are giving justice, you shouldn't just end by saying I have given justice. It should be seen to be have done. Okay, let even the poor man out there, even an average person out there,
confirm that
yes, and this is justice actually, not
out of transparency.
Thank you.
And
It's
not like
about giving judgment. You can give judgment without rendering justice. So, if you give your judgment, okay, there's no, even me personally as an analyst, I find it very difficult to understand what happened in Kano State. You gave your own judgment, and then the true the CCC was saying a different thing altogether. Does it now mean that you didn't read out that judgment from that original copy? But there is something fishy.
All right.
Something has always been fishy in every election matter. So
there are high and mighty men, you know, trying to take over.
It is not surprising. There is always something fishy, both in a pre-election matter and in a post-election matter. So this is not a surprising one for
At all.
Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand?
All right,
Issue of reappointing Kerry.
Kerry, as the CEO of NMPC.
Personally, I don't see the reason why Kerry should be reappointed. NNPC have been one of the problem of Nigeria on oil issue. Had NNPC played this role as it ought to be, we won't be in this mess. It has been a conduit pipe. It has been an avenue leaders, politicians used to finance their nonsenses against the interests of the public. So Kerry have been there for years. We have not seen anything achieved.
Positive impact.
So
Would have reappointed a new
I disagree with Barrister. Barrister, you say you don't see reason why Kerry should be reappointed. And for me, I'm seeing reason.
Because he is paying homage to persons.
I see reason because he should be reappointed to continue to eat money, to continue to put money in his pocket,
Okay, please.
to continue
Please.
to establish his own people
Let's
while the poor Nigerians suffer.
let's tone it down. We are talking about
That is his
we
own
are talking
achievement.
about how we can
That is the only
positively
achievement.
impact
I'm not
on the
talking-
life
APC
of
government,
citizens in this
as
country.
far as I'm concerned,
So-
the APC government is not
Apostle.
ready for anything positive
See,
in this country.
Apostle, don't take it personal.
No,
The reason why we
no.
are here every day is for us to,
No,
analyze issues and see how we can
Positively.
profile. Yes,
No,
solution.
I'm talking
Yes,
about-
we are
I'm
here.
talking
You
about
might
the
be,
impact on
you might be
Nigerians.
thinking that people are not listening to
But I'm
us.
fed up.
That the government,
Because
the
you
people in
continue
power are not
to say
listening to
what
us.
happens.
But the reason why we are here is for them to understand that people are tired, and we can proffer solution. And that is what we are trying to say. That he's trying to say that the reason why he thinks that Mele Kyari shouldn't have been returned is because he has done nothing to impact positively in the lives of Nigerians as the CEO of NNPC. And now we as the masses, we are of the opinion that the government should have done better. Maybe try a fresh hand, a fresh person to
Fresh
see
mind.
if we can have a positive impact in that particular sector. That's the point here.
I understand you, but I'm trying to let you know that I'm fed up. If Kyari was not returned, my own question is, how can he survive? Because this man is dependent on pocket of government to survive.
Okay, anyway.
That's my argument. He
let's-
can survive.
I want to
You can
respond
survive.
to how dispatch error landed Abuja bound flight.
Okay, go ahead quickly, please.
You know, I found it very, very funny. Understand, someone pays currently a flight to cost you about 100 and something thousand, and according to the memo released by the airline
Nigeria.
in question, they said it was weather, due to weather.
Yes.
Okay, your crew couldn't give an accurate information to the passengers. They passed the wrong message to the passengers, and all of a sudden they found themselves in another place. This is not the first time this is happening. This is not the second time this is happening. This kind of situation is happening because some policies or some fees are not placed on
Sanction.
airlines who do this kind of thing. Because if a sanction or fees are placed on airlines, you have a passenger who comes to patronize you, all of a sudden he finds himself in another location, and it is taken seriously. I don't think any airline will continue to be making
Okay,
a mess
from
of passengers
what we
whenever they book their
yeah, from what
flights.
we are seeing in, as a rider under that particular message, that the NCAA has suspended wet lease aircraft in United Nigeria, and an expert said that, well,
That's what
this
it
is
should be.
a positive step in
This
the
is
right
what it should
direction.
be.
So that's what it should
And
be.
the Minister of Aviation have even made it a policy now that any flights taking off from any of Nigeria, that the Nigerian pilot must be there, whether he's flying or not flying,
Okay.
which shows because it's a dispatch error, showing that this pilot that landed passenger, Abuja bound passengers to Asaba, maybe have misunderstood the dispatch paper given to him.
Okay.
He's still Asaba as Abuja.
All right, quickly, let's see the Nation and the Guardian newspapers. Quickly, those are our last papers under review this morning. Akeredolu Aiyedatiwa peace agreement heads for collapse. Deputy governors, loyalists pushing lawmakers to make him acting governor. I stand on Abuja deal, Speaker insists. And then Shaibu Ame intimidated, my allocation seized. Governor joins 2024 race, okay? Supreme Court will get a full 21 justices. Ariwola pledges. We did 90 kilometers of roads in 1 year, says Osun government. Tinubu orders massive fixing of federal roads. Okay? National Assembly under pressure over 2024 budget. President to present a 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill tomorrow. And then let's see what we have. The Guardian news.
Release funds, and when they release funds, it goes into people's pockets and the masses suffers it.
Okay.
And they go online and say, we have done this, but yet the grassroots is not feeling the impact. So the government has to make sure that this aspect has to be looked into. Then on the aspect of NSAS, currently the security personnel in Nigeria are still making a mess of the Nigerian youth wherever they find themselves. A common student cannot walk around with his laptop. I'm a student of Federal Polytechnic Oko, and yet, even currently, I got to realize yesterday that some persons were arrested in a lodge. Everybody. These kind of things are things which we do not understand what or where the country is heading to. The Nigerian police or any security operative should take it easy on the Nigerian youth. Not all Nigerian youth are criminals. In a situation whereby we investigate, we see that this person is guilty. Even the student union body will also join the security operative in making sure that justice prevails. But a situation whereby the security operative comes in and begin to make a mess of students and make a mess of even the Nigerian youth in general, it is not acceptable.
All right. Thank you so much. Barrister, let's also look at the story. We've seen that in the front page of Vanguard, talking about UBEC, that's Universal Basic Education Commission, bemoaning shortage of teachers, you know. And they are also, in that front page of Vanguard, they are talking about, but let's start with that one first, before I get the point.
On the issue of shortage of teachers, it's obvious that Nigerian schools are understaffed. So it's not a big news. We know that the funding of education in this country is very poor. And that is why the standards are very low. Because if you fund the education properly, get the right materials in place.
And we are talking about basic education, primary school.
I know what I'm saying.
Yes.
You're supposed
Because,
to be,
okay, now, Daily
it's supposed to
Independent
be
is saying
funded
that
very
we
well.
have about 45 million, enrollment in basic education in Nigeria.
But it's underfunded.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You know, from education staff from even kindergarten.
Of course.
When you get it right there, you will get it right up there. Because this basic education, if you fail to fund it very well, lay proper foundation, we won't get the right graduates. The problem we are facing in this country is that most of the time we neglect basic education, thinking that even university is underfunded. By now we are talking about digital compliance everywhere. We should, by now, in developed countries, you start to teach children a computer right from primary schools. They start to grow from there. Before they get to university, they will be perfect. So they should fund the education. It's not through funding you will employ teachers.
Of course. Exactly. And even when we come to tertiary institution, we can also see on the front page of Vanguard where ASU and Konoe are crying out that, government giving certification for new varsities.
Which is very wrong.
It's not the right thing to do now. Because the ones we have now are
malnourished. They are underfunded. Even last time,
you cannot protect
the government says
you want to bring
that tertiary institutions, federal tertiary institutions should be paying 40% of intelligence revenue. People cried out. Suddenly last month, within this month, they now say that they are withdrawn such.
Withdrawn, yes.
Which it's a good decision that they think they are listening to the public they listen to public outcome in that direction. You can't tax university you underfunded to give you a time generating revenue again.
And that is what is causing most times making
So we should
students stay at
we should
home.
fund the education
We hear
properly.
strike
And if you
247.
fund the education very well, and we have the right materials groomed very well, is it not the education that we even go and check other countries that they develop through their educational
Yes,
system.
of course.
Our university system should be in position to research and bring out their research results, market it to the manufacturers. They will now produce, go into mass production. But to discover that this is not happening in Nigeria, how can we develop without developing our educational institutions?
All right. Well, we still have a lot to talk about, but because of want of time, we have to go because we have another segment on the show this morning. We want to say a very big thank you to our reviewers this morning. Thank you, Apostle John Paul Iloduba, for joining us this morning. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure being here.
Barrister, all right, thank you. Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs, thank you so much.
Thank you, the president, our viewers. Thank you for giving us
And
your
our
time.
first timer, Ifeanyi Chukwu Ezeafunamba, thank you so much for being here this
Okay,
morning.
thank you very much, but I'm not a first timer.
Okay.
God bless you.
Okay. I want to say a very big thank you for joining us for Press Review this morning. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. We're taking a short break, but we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.